finally happened, ladies and gentlemen. It finally happened. The Winnipeg Jets actually beat the Arizona Coyotes. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another video here on Peg City Hockey. This is going to be recap reactions for Game 8 out of 82 for the Jets' 2022-2023 campaign. Like, what were these last two games? Last 48 hours has been absolutely insane if you're a Jets fan, because these are two games where, in my opinion, they were both chaotic and both very different but similar at the exact same time. Like, this was a game tonight that I feel like the Jets kind of lucked out on winning. Like, I'm not gonna lie, you know, it's 2-1 Arizona at the end of that first period, no goals scored in the second, and then you finally get a Mu𝐋𝐋�ett goal 8 minutes and 34 seconds into that third period that ties it up, yay, and then they win it in overtime. So obviously, Arizona being in the Central this year, they get a point that's going to help them in the standings, but we'll see how the Coyotes season goes before we count that. But for the Jets right now, this is a massive win in my opinion. Like you have actually just won 3 games in a row. Like I like the Jets last year, that was an impossible task. Just 3-game win streaks were oh my god, a 3-game win streak! I can't believe it. And I'm just happy to see that, you know, at this point. Also, the fact Cole Perfetti gets his 3rd goal this season, unassisted. You'd love to see Cole Perfetti getting goals. But, like, this game had a lot of good things in it, a lot of good carryover, I thought, especially on a back-to-back night where you weren't very good against LA the night before, that you ended up lucking into a win. You fought hard. I still liked that game last night for a lot of different reasons. I saw a lot of people in the comment sections. I feel like I might be in the minority for last night's game, but I feel like it applies to this one too as well. I think these are good games for the Jets to be playing right now because, yeah, they're a little messy. Yeah, they're not perfect, but Rick Bowness isn't behind the bench. You're playing in the first ever game in Mullet Arena in Arizona, in Tempe. And, you know, I got to say right now, I think it is kind of sad with certain amenities in that stadium. You know, the dressing rooms, I'm just going to say, I think the dressing rooms are a joke. I don't care if it's this or that or whatever. I think that's a very pathetic look. But that being said, tonight's crowd was one of the best crowds I think I've ever seen just on TV for a hockey game with the Coyotes on it. Like, ever. Or maybe going back to when they were in the playoffs, like, years ago at this point. So, you know, I'm happy about that. You know, like look, let's be real, guys. The Arizona Coyotes are the Winnipeg Jets 1.0. If you were around, and like a lot of you are, you were around when the Jets 1.0 were really, really prevalent in the city, you know what it's like to lose a team. Like, I don't wish that on any city. Like, yeah, the Jets got theirs back, but at the same time, you know, Atlanta lost their team. It sucks for people in Atlanta that were fans of the Thrashers, so I don't wish that upon anybody. That being said, though, I do think this is a short-term thing. It cannot be long-term, but it looked interesting tonight, you know, and besides, it's always great to put the L in Mullet, especially when you beat them in their first game there. Sorry, Coyotes fans, had to do it to you, but I liked this game. It was chaotic. It had a lot of weird moments in it where it felt like the Coyotes were kind of playing us and we were getting goalied at points, but I thought David Rittich had a pretty good night tonight. I think he's really looked a lot better since that first game he played in preseason. Then he gets that shutout, and he's just looked a lot better. I really like Big Save Dave back there, and you know, again, 2 years in a row, it's looking like early on so far, honestly 3 years when you really think about it, that the Jets have brought 3 different backup goaltenders in that I hated, in Laurent Brossoit, Eric Comrie, and now David Rittich. And, you know, we know how those other 2 ended up working out. If David Rittich can somehow turn his career around, the Jets are 110% confirmed as the #1 destination in the NHL if you're a backup goaltender looking to turn your career around, because I don't know what else you could look at. That is the best sample size I've seen in guys turning their careers around in a weird position like backup goaltending. So credit to the goaltending coach. They know how to make guys play better in net. So, you know, I like seeing David Rittich succeed, but I feel like just tonight was a good example of the Jets going out there, carrying over some momentum from a win that you know, like I said, probably shouldn't have won, but you did. And you come in tonight, you go to overtime, which is important because if they had even lost in overtime, you get the point. And that's something that I've been preaching on this channel and my entire life, let's be real, for a long time. On a back-to-back night in the NHL, you have to lose in overtime if you're going to lose. I feel like that is what every team needs to strive for on that second game of the back-to-back. Get to overtime. At least get 1 point. If you can get 3 out of 4 points in a back-to-back situation in 48 hours, that is the best, that's the best case scenario. You can't beat that. So you got to get to overtime. It's what the Jets do tonight, but they actually go out there and get that extra point, get the 4 points in 48 hours. That's huge for the standings, especially early on, because, like I said, 3-game win streak. Hell, last night's game was, what, 5... Hold on, I got to think real quick. I think it was 5 goals. Yeah, it was I know what the stat was now. First time since early 2021 that the Jets had scored 5 goal or more goals in a game. So it's been a rough year for the Winnipeg Jets. So to come into this game on the back-to-back, play the way they did, and still get the win and the full 2 points, that's all that matters to me right now, because it's early on, we're not even at the 10-game mark, and you gotta get these wins. So if I'm not mistaken, I believe the Jets are 5-3 at this point now. I would have to check real quickly in the standings. Yes, they are 5-3 right now, second in the Central with 10 points. Colorado has 9 behind them, Dallas has 11. So obviously it's early on, but that's exactly where you want to be if you're the Winnipeg Jets. You want to be getting as many of these points as you can. You have no overtime loss yet, which is good, because the team ahead of you and the team behind you both have one, so it's nice to see the Jets coming out here and being able to get that first point in their overtime. That's important to see. I think that's the best you could ask for if you're a Jets fan, actually, looking at tonight's game. Like, it's a back-to-back against a team that we struggled with last year and got goalied on every occasion, it seemed like, and just played down to constantly. And Arizona was not good last year, so it just really makes you wonder, you know, can the Jets rebound from last year? And in a prime example early on is an opponent that you struggled with last year that shut you out at home in a terrible game where you had less than 20 shots on net. Tonight's the exact opposite of that. Tonight they go out there, they play really well, they put on 35 shots on net over the Coyotes' 21. They didn't lead in the faceoff department, but that doesn't matter. I think the biggest complaint tonight I would have for the Winnipeg Jets is that they were 0 for 5 on the power play. Power play's got to be better. When you're going up against the Arizona Coyotes penalty kill and you can't get anything on 5 opportunities, not to mention the fact that the Coyotes had 2 opportunities, so you didn't take really any penalties. You got a lot of calls in favor for you, and you did nothing with that, even though you were losing the game until the 3rd period. So that's my biggest complaint with this game tonight, is that if the Jets didn't get lucky in that 3rd period with those 5 power plays that they had and didn't do shit with and lost that game, that's the stat I would look at and be like, that's what cost it for the Winnipeg Jets, because they got out-hit, they got out-blocked in shots, and they had the only thing they had less of, honestly, was giveaways, which is yay, but at the same time, Coyotes were dominating even with 18-7 in the giveaway category. So it's like, what are you going to do with that? The Jets need to be a more structured team, which they will get to, especially when Rick Bowness gets behind that bench, like we've talked about already early on this season. Him not being here is having an effect. Scott O'Neill can only do so much, and same with Bowness through a computer screen or video message or whatever he's doing in that locker room. It makes a huge impact to have your head coach behind the bench yelling at you your real orders and your real stuff you want to hear, as compared to hearing it pregame on a video call. It's just not what players want, and especially when he's a new coach. So tonight, another battle of resilience, battling back from a deficit in a game where you didn't play great hockey, you didn't play terrible hockey, you were just kind of meh. But what matters the most is that you won this game. That's all I care about from these last 2 games. People are in the comment section, I see you guys out there, you're saying, oh, the Jets ain't making the playoffs, this and that. And I can understand where you're coming from. But this isn't the same team from last year. We would have lost this game last year. We would have lost last night's game last year, and we would have lost 2 games in regulation on back-to-back nights, which is terrible. This is a team that just got 4 points in 48 hours on back-to-backs, playing a game in a high environment as well, sold-out crowd, first game in a new arena, and you win in overtime. That's important. That's a team with some resilience. Not to mention the fact Blake Wheeler gets the goal. That's good for him to get that. I believe that was his 2nd goal of the season. It was from Dubois. Scheifele with his 6th. I believe that's his 4th game in a row he scored a goal in. Wheeler getting another assist tonight as well. So what? I believe Wheeler now has 8 points on the season, point per game already. 2nd line guy, hasn't been that amazing. He's still a point per game. These are little things you have to notice with the Jets that you're like, okay, guys are contributing, we're winning games, there is improvement here. Like, that's what I'm looking at. From a guy with no expectations on this team, and when I look at these 2 games, and I look at this one, especially on that back-to-back, and I see mediocre hockey in that entire 2nd, and a 1st of mediocrity as well, but a 3rd that actually makes a difference with an overtime when you get the job done, that's what matters to me. This is a team battling back, not giving up, and not folding under pressure. It's exactly like what I said last night. It carries over tonight against Arizona, and it's exactly what you need to see and continue to do throughout the rest of the year. Win these back-to-back games, don't tap out, get to overtime no matter what, and chase those points. That's how you'll get into the wild card. That's how you'll maintain a potential spot in the top 3. You gotta be that type of resilient hockey to make it in the Central this year, especially with how the Jets are based on other teams in the Central, because I like the Jets but I don't think they're as good as the other teams ahead of them in the Central, to be honest. So it's going to be a tough race for them. I think that they can do it if they can keep their composure like this and battle back hard, but 8 games in, seen it in back-to-back, that's good. Let's see if we're talking about it 28 games in, 38 games in. Let's see what that team looks like at the 40-game mark. That's when we'll get a real idea of whether or not this team can continue to apply this and whether or not they'll make the playoffs. So until then, I don't want to see you guys saying they're not going to make the playoffs after they get 4 points in 48 hours, okay? I don't want to see any of that tonight. Enjoy these 2 wins, back-to-back nights, 3-game win streak. First time that's happened in a long time. Enjoy it. Let's hope we can make it 4 on Sunday. I don't remember who we play on Sunday. I think it's Vegas. I'm going to check real quick because I honestly I want to know. I actually forgot. It is the Vegas Golden Knights. I was correct. So, yeah, Sunday they'll be playing Vegas in Vegas. And then the Canadians will be visiting the Jets on Thursday. Yeah, a little bit of a break there between games, Sunday and Thursday. So, we'll see you guys back there on Sunday for October 30th, the Halloween game, even though it's not Halloween. But, yeah, really happy with this win tonight. Not because it was a perfect game, but for the same reasons as last night. Bouncing back, battling back hard, and winning the game no matter what. Coming out on top's all that matters, getting those extra points, and that's where I feel, and that's how I feel. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. I really appreciate you watching this video. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you haven't already, dropped a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, check out all the other affiliated links in the description, and just do everything I just said. Then what if you haven't already done that? What's wrong with you? Do that. No, I'm just joking. Nothing's wrong with you guys. I don't know where I'm going with this, you know? It's Halloween. Got some fireworks. I'm excited. It's not Halloween yet, but Halloween weekend. Just looking forward to finally having some time to relax after the move. It's been a stressful week. So, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace and positivity. As always, have a great rest of your day. Go Jets, go! And I will see you guys in the next one.